Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright guys, today I want to talk about the possibility of Sasuke dying and why I personally believe that he's probably not actually going to die. If you guys haven't necessarily been paying attention to the Boruto manga recently, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have, but in the Boruto manga, Sasuke actually gave his headband over to Boruto. Now a lot of people believe that right there could potentially be a sign that Sasuke may actually die into the future, but there was also a different type of thing that Sasuke did or said in the chapter that kind of makes people believe that he may also die as well. He actually said that he's going to be the person who actually tests his resolve sooner or later. Now, if you guys don't necessarily know, Boruto tested his resolve multiple times by essentially wanting to die for the village. This right here was a very important part. Sasuke essentially told Boruto that he himself was willing to die for the village right before he did actually go ahead and fight against Ishiki Otsutsuki. Sasuke says, as I said, he's going to want to test his resolve again very soon. The current situation that we're in right now doesn't necessarily seem like it's going to be the best for Sasuke and Naruto if they do actually decide to join the battle. The reason why I say that is because they're going to be fighting against some characters that are going to be extremely strong. If you guys do understand, let's keep it 1,000. Ida is already extremely overpowered. Damon right now is arguably the strongest character in the whole entire series, and Code may actually still have the upper hand on Sasuke and Naruto. You never really know. Now, I think, just my personal opinion, it's a bit too early to kill off Sasuke. The reason why I say that is because Sasuke and Boruto didn't necessarily have the correct, let's say, quote-unquote training time together for them to actually build that very, very strong relationship for it to be a significantly meaningful death for Boruto. Don't get me wrong, Boruto already loves Sasuke. Boruto already idolized Sasuke. Boruto wants Sasuke's clothes and everything like that. He almost fainted when Sasuke gave him his headband, but the reason why I feel like it's going to be way too soon is because I think that Boruto is going to embody a lot of things that Sasuke embodies in regards to fighting style, not only fighting style, potentially even ideology in the future. And Sasuke hasn't necessarily bestowed a lot of that influence over Boruto as of yet. Do I think it's a possibility that Sasuke dies? Absolutely. But dying right now wouldn't necessarily be the best case scenario. Now, just to illustrate this a bit, Boruto and Sasuke probably had like less than a week of training together. I remember they trained for a bit right before the Chunin exam, and that right there in itself was a very, very significant amount of training, just because of the sheer fact that Boruto literally made his own version of a Chidori in a matter of a couple of days. And what's also very significant about this pseudo Chidori is the fact that Boruto's Jogen also has lightning style, and of course, as I said, Sasuke has literally yet to even see Boruto's Jogen. So as I said, I think it's going to be a little bit way too early as of right now. But the next question is going to be, obviously, if Sasuke is actually going to die, when do I think he'd actually die? Now, in my personal opinion, I think it'd have to be post time skip. I think there's a very good possibility that Boruto trains with Sasuke through the time skip, actually learns his Jogen, of course have Sasuke train with Boruto while Boruto has his Jogen. That's where I think that Boruto's going to get a lot of the abilities from the Jogen, potentially making a lot of unique jutsus. That's honestly probably going to be the reason why Boruto is separated from Kawaki in the future. Now, not only that, I believe that Boruto in the future is probably going to be the new Sasuke in regards to Otsutsuki missions. Sasuke and Boruto, they haven't really talked anything in regards to Otsutsuki trips, Otsutsuki Dimensions, Otsutsuki missions. They haven't necessarily talked anything about that. And the reason why I believe that Boruto is probably going to be the new Sasuke in regards to Otsutsuki missions is because Boruto has the ability to actually go dimension to dimension. Now, of course, he's not really the only person in the series that has that ability. We understand that Shin Uchiha also has that ability as well. Sasuke himself could potentially steal a Mangekyo Sharingan, but Boruto, in my personal opinion, is probably going to be the only character that has that ability that could legitimately beat other Otsutsuki members. And I'm not talking about one else, I'm talking about what Sasuke actually did. Sasuke legitimately went to Kage's dimension, fought against a character called Kinshiki Otsutsuki, and left promptly, very, very safely. This right here is going to be a very important dialogue between Sasuke and Boruto, because Sasuke actually went through all of these missions. Sasuke actually knows what to avoid. Sasuke actually knows what are good signs and bad signs. I think that Boruto learning things like this through first-hand experience from a character like Sasuke is going to be much better than learning from some sort of scrolls that Sasuke left behind. And of course, in the future, we can't necessarily be worried about, hey, is this the correct method of learning? Because in the future, there's probably going to be more Otsutsuki attacks, and time really isn't probably going to be of the essence to actually have Boruto learn everything step by step. And of course, we obviously have to talk about the fan backlash. I think the fan backlash as of right now would be significant, just because of the sheer fact that Sasuke hasn't necessarily had that much big moments in the series. And I think that adult Sasuke's reputation as of right now isn't necessarily the best. Of course, there's always that that running joke that Sasuke never has chakra, that Sasuke is always a nerf. Technically he is right now because he doesn't really have his Rinnegan, but Sasuke dying right now would be very, very disappointing to a lot of the hardcore Sasuke fans. And I'm not gonna lie, I personally believe that Sasuke is gonna eventually have a Baryon mode Naruto moment. I think that there's gonna be a certain situation in the future where Sasuke is gonna be the reason why everybody is protected. Now, do I think he's probably gonna be as strong as a Baryon mode Naruto? I think it's possible. Kind of unlikely, but I think it's possible. But I definitely do believe Sasuke's big moments are definitely not behind us. I think that Sasuke definitely has to get some sort of big moment to get his respect back. But after that, I think that, of course, I mean, then I could possibly see Sasuke dying. So again, I'd probably say post time skip. It probably wouldn't necessarily be pre time skip, and I definitely do not see Sasuke dying in this particular arc, even though I definitely do have to say there are a lot of signs that are pointing to Sasuke potentially dying before the time skip. I'd be essentially lying to you guys if I said there were no signs of that, but I don't necessarily think that the Boruto writers are going to actually pull the trigger right now. But let me know what you guys think. It's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.